What up guys, it's your boy Willie Brap, and this is going to be the first episode of the Workout Moto-Vlogs. So the topic today is kind of in response to a video a fellow YouTuber, Everride, ADV, put out. And in this video, the title was The Death of the Dual Sport. Now, I kind of want to give my 2 cents on it, and kind of give a different perspective for the dual sport and ADV community. So, as many of you are aware by now, the WR250R is no longer being produced. This has been confirmed via Yamaha's US website and international website. So the bike is done. It is no more. You got to look at the root cause in this situation of why the bike is no longer coming out, and that's emissions. A lot of people think it couldn't keep up with the Euro standard emissions, and therefore they cut it. One website has released something about it, but it hasn't really been verified by Yamaha themselves. So that's a tad bit of speculation. Now, in my opinion, the dual sport is not dying, like Everride's title suggests. It is not the thumper apocalypse, as he also suggests. However, it's changing, and that's for sure. Now, the key of a dual sport has always been a reliable single cylinder. Even if you look up to the KLR 650, it's a thumper, it's a single cylinder. And in my opinion, the dual sport community is alive and well. We're not dying, and instead we're actually growing. And I believe this can be shown through the recent releases and of new bikes, such as the CRF 250 Rally. At least for the I'm talking for the US market right now. So you have the new Rally, and then BMW also came out with a 310 GS, which arguably is a street bike with some adventure looking garb on it. But nonetheless, there are more and more bikes being released, even though the Yamaha did die. In my personal opinion, this is why the Yamaha died. The majority of people who are going out to buy a dual sport, A, want something they can tour on, or B, want a little dual sport that's cheap. The Yamaha is by no means cheap, even used. When I was looking at the CRF and the Yamaha, excuse me, the Yamaha was a good $1,500 more used. Used, not even new, used. New, it's a completely different story. So I really think it was the price that slowly started killing the Yamaha. The CRF, for example, has been a great seller in the US market and all other markets because it's cheap. No, it doesn't have the best suspension. No, it doesn't even have a freaking tachometer. It has things missing or that we'd like to correct. However, for the base price to get into one of these things new, let alone used, is stupid cheap. Like, so freaking cheap. It's just, it blows my mind that I could get into dual sport riding on a bike like this for $3,500. That's crazy. I can go get like a used Ninja 250 for that price where I live. So no, the community is not dying, as Everride suggests. In fact, it's growing. And I think that bikes are going to start changing. It's going to adapt to the emissions. We'll see what President Trump does here in the US, but at least for the EU, yeah, they're going to get stricter. And that might hurt them. But you also have to think about the international community. You have to think about the Philippines, Thailand, all of these other big countries where dual sports are very popular because they're cheap, they're 250s. Then a lot of places, anything bigger than 250s tax the shit out of. But also, their roads aren't nearly as good. So, where I might be doing this, just as a fun little thing, to just blast around town and go ride, some people need the 250 just on their average day roads. They're crap, they're terrible. A lot of them aren't even paved. So where I foresee the dual ride community growing is not in the US necessarily. I mean, it's definitely going to grow, but slowly. Motorcycling is still kind of a taboo subject here in the US, and I think it will be forever, in all honesty. But overseas is where it's really going to grow. And I don't think it's going to grow on the top end, meaning the big adventure bikes, the 1200 GS, the KTM 1290. But there's more and more bikes being released. Yamaha is going to release the T7, which is kind of the closest way. I'll put an image up on the screen, but the Closest way I can describe it is a Africa Twin kind of looking Dakar rally bike. And then they also are possibly going to release a T4. I know one company actually made a T4, but it's stupid expensive and completely defeats the purpose of a affordable dual sport. In no way do I think the dual sport community is dying. I don't think it is, matter of fact. I think it's growing, if anything. And I think this can be shown from the bikes. I just think that the Yamaha WR250R couldn't fit the market anymore. And that has to do with a few things, price being one of them. Especially when the Honda CRF came out. Now, Yamaha is still selling the X2 250, and then they also have a 200, but that's a nasty bike, no one likes that. And I foresee them changing up the XT and bringing in a new bike, kind of to compete with the CRF. A little bit cheaper. I think they might, suspension-wise, I think they're going to try and keep it on par with the Yamaha, the little CRFs. But I think the price point is really that sweet spot that people want. I think people want a cheap dual sport, and a lot of people who get the WR want a motocross bike that's street legal. And KTM makes a ton of bikes like that. So it's, I don't know, the dual sport community is not dying. It is not the it is not the thumper apocalypse. It is not the death of the dual sport. We are alive and growing. And I think the Yamaha just didn't fit the market anymore. And that's why it died. In all honesty, I just don't think it could keep up with the demand anymore. So, that's kind of the end of the talk, guys. It's your boy Willie Brap. This has been the first Workout Moto-Vlog. I'll see you next time.